Allie, do you know where you are?
I think so. I believe I'm in the hospital. No, I'm sure I'm in the hospital.
Good. Do you remember what happened?
Not all of it. No, I think... Was there an explosion?
Yes, that's right. You were very lucky, Allie. Your father's entire kitchen was destroyed by the explosion. It's a miracle that you survived with only minor burns.
I suppose it is.
Do you know who I am?
Are you my doctor?
That's right, I'm Dr. McCauley. We've met a few times before, actually. You've been my patient for almost a week. Your memories are a bit jumbled.
Oh, I see. Well, that can't be good.
You're in fine physical shape, Allie, nothing to worry about. You're just a little confused. You had quite a shock to your system. Do you remember anything from after the explosion?
No. I mean, not really. I remember sirens and men lifting me onto... Well, I guess it must have been a gurney. But then it gets hazy.
That's all right. It'll come back to you. How about immediately before the explosion?
Well, I remember being at my father's house. I hadn't seen him in some time, and I'd gone for a visit. I don't remember the details. But I remember he wanted me to cook for him. I'm a professional chef, you see.
A chef?
Yeah. I've been excellent at cooking my whole life. Ever since I was a little girl.
I see. Go on.
I've been on my own, you see. Never found Mr. Right. But anyway, in this modern era, a woman doesn't need a man to be complete. Right? So I had to make do on my own. And cooking was the only thing I'm good at.
May I ask, when did you first start cooking?
Well, I guess I started around the time my mother died. He said he was earning the money to maintain the household, and I had to pull my weight.
How old were you at the time?
11.
11? That's pretty young to be cooking.
It's no different at 11 than it is at 21. I was a little smaller and things were harder to reach, but with experience I got to be as good as any adult.
How often did your father make you cook for him?
Pretty much every evening. Occasionally he'd want lunch as well. He sometimes asked for breakfast, but usually not.
Did you resent it?
It's funny you should mention it. Yes, I did resent it. I didn't like being forced into that role. I didn't like his arrogant presumption that it was my job to do it. Yes, I resent it, and I resent him for it.
What did you do about it?
Well, I left home just as soon as I turned 15. I went out into the world to make my way. Ironically, the thing I was running away from was the only saleable skill I had. So I became a chef.
How did that work out?
At first, not well. I was working in terrible venues. People didn't care about professionalism or presentation. They just wanted a quick meal and to be on their way. I hated it. But I pressed on. Then I learned how to market myself. I found the right places to advertise and made the right contacts. I started moving up in the world of cooking. There is no shortcut, I can assure you. Becoming an expert in your profession, be it chef or a doctor, requires a lot of hard work. But in time, I earned a name for myself. I became a commodity. People would call me and offer me jobs instead of me asking them. I started charging more, and people were willing to pay. I would do large parties, private groups, even invite premier clients and their friends over for a custom meal in my own home. After all, the business they got me was well worth giving up an evening for.
And during this time, you never visited or contacted your father?
No. I guess I still resented him. Irrational, I know, but emotions aren't always rational.
So how did you end up at your father's house the day of the explosion?
Well, I decided it was time to drop by. I figured I couldn't hold on to a grudge forever. It had been a few years. Maybe things didn't go well for us back in the old days, but I was an adult now. And I figured I at least owed him a visit or two. He did raise me, after all.
And how'd that go?
Well, like I said, the first thing he wanted me to do for him is cook him a meal. I'll be honest, it kind of made me angry. After 6 years, he hadn't changed. Not at all. Not one little bit. I was pretty disappointed.
What did you do about it?
I went into the kitchen. I mean, what else could I do? He followed me in there. We chatted for a while. I got ready to cook him something. It was a gas stove. I must have inadvertently turned it on while I was talking to him. Then forgotten I did. I turned on another burner and I was ready to light it. That's pretty much the last thing I remember.
Allie, can I ask you a question that may seem completely out of the blue?
Whatever you like, Doctor.
What's the difference between a teaspoon and a tablespoon?
What? What do you mean?
A teaspoon and a tablespoon. You're the chef. What's the difference?
A teaspoon is used to stir tea, while a tablespoon is used for different foods, as soups, custards, desserts.
No, Allie. Teaspoon and tablespoon are both units of measurement used by chefs all over the world. Any professional chef would know that. Even ordinary people who cook at home know that. You're not a chef, Allie. You never have been.
Well, that's just ridiculous. Of course I am. I've been doing it my whole life. Well, of course I am.
No, you haven't. I have your criminal record. You've been arrested for prostitution 8 times over the last 6 years. You've overdosed on drugs twice.
That's crazy. You've obviously mixed my file with somebody else's. I mean, what kind of hospital is this?
It's a mental hospital, Allie. You killed your father and tried to set the house on fire by turning on the gas and causing an explosion. And I think you were trying to kill yourself, too.
No! That's not true. I'm a chef. That's not true. No, I'm a chef.
You transpose sex with cooking. Ever since you were 11, it was a defensive mechanism. It was the only way you were able to survive. But you were strong. Stronger than he thought. Strong enough to run away, strong enough to survive by selling yourself, and strong enough to come back and get revenge for what he'd done to you. He's dead. He can't ever hurt you again. He's dead and you killed him. You got revenge. You won.
No, no. This is
We'll get you through this, Allie. You survived things that would break normal people. And I'll get you through the rest of the way. I promise.